Let's put Airsoft GI's latest custom creation, the Mayo Gang Carbine 4 Mark II, to the test. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane and welcome to the BB Warrior. Airsoft GI was actually where I bought my first serious airsoft gun 15 years ago or so, and I gotta say, the times have changed. Comparing my first airsoft gun to this, it is a night and day quality difference. As we get into the review, I do just want to say a disclosure. Airsoft GI was kind enough to send me this out for review. However, I'm not being paid for today's video, and I have to give the replica back when I'm done with it. I think this is the best way to do reviews because I have no skin in the game. I have no emotional attachment to this rifle because I didn't pay for it. So a big thank you to Airsoft GI for making today's video possible. Now, getting into the rifle itself, I think this does a really good job at providing the basic features that most airsoft players want at an affordable price point. Now, at the heart of the MGC4 is a Lancer tactical gearbox, and I know it's going to turn some people off as soon as I say it, because Lancer gets a lot of hate online. However, I think the parts that they've upgraded help to fix some of the issues that the Lancers have, because a base Lancer Tactical Gen 3 is, it's a beginner airsoft gun. It works for that market. They're very cheap. They're widely available. And I think what this does is it takes that platform as a good starting point and it improves upon the areas that can use improvement at an affordable price to do so. So externally, this is a M-LOK M4. Realistically, there's nothing special here. I like the rail, it's metal, we'll get more into that, but I think what really makes this unique compared to other options that are on the market is what's on the inside. So that's what I want to focus on in today's video. So again, this is based off of a Lancer Tactical Gen 3 gearbox. I've got the primary parts that you are going to see in this rifle and in the Gen 3s, and now let's take a look at what doesn't come in a Gen 3, which is highlighted on screen right now. I think those parts make a huge difference for the performance of this rifle compared to a standard Gen 3, because you're going to get a better motor. It's a 25K versus a 19K motor, which means that you're immediately going to get better trigger response out of this, because that motor can work faster, it can work better than what's stock. And you also get the Zion Arms Nebula MOSFET in there. It's wired to DINs, which I think is a great thing that should be standardized in airsoft. That provides a lot of benefits for players, because realistically, if you think what most airsoft players want out of their airsoft gun, they want two things. They want good snappy trigger response, and they want their BBs to go as far as possible. And I think this does a great job at providing the value of those two things at an affordable price point. These are a hair over $300. I think when we're filming, they're $315 right now on Airsoft GI's website. And I think for that price point, it does those two things phenomenally well in a nice, sturdy package. The barrel and hop-up in here, it is a 6.03 millimeter barrel with a rotary style hop-up. As far as I can tell, this is a stock Lancer hop-up. They don't market it as anything different than that other than being the 6.03, being the rotary. I believe these are the same parts you'd find in a Lancer. And honestly, I am pleasantly surprised. The range on this was fantastic. If you're the sort of player that wants to really kind of spam fire their rifle, this will do it for you. It also has a flat trigger in it, which is standard on the Lancer Tacticals. That makes it easier to do that. But I just think that this delivers on that value that most players are looking for. I think the other thing that sets this apart from a standard Lancer Tactical and provides more value is this has a metal body and a metal M-LOK rail system. As far as I know, every Gen 3 Lancer has a polymer body and it has a polymer rail. At least all the ones that are in stock on Airsoft GI right now list those parts. So for getting the metal body, which is pretty standard, on one side it has the Lancer Tactical logo, on the other side it has the Mayo Gang Customs engraved onto the magwell. I think that's, again, a tremendous value added to this for its price point. The M-LOK rail, it has QD cups on both sides, so it's ambidextrous. I really like that. It also has M-LOK on the 45 positions as well, which I think is something that is a huge benefit because I like putting certain things like flashlights off to that corner, pressure switches. I don't like being constricted to the 3, 6, and 9 positions on a handguard. It's also a monolithic rail on there, as you can see, which I really like. I decided to keep this pretty basic, but it's putting a different sling attachment point because I didn't have a sling with QD cups when I went out with this, and a standard red dot. I tried to keep this as lightweight as possible. And this also comes, I don't have it on there, they include a Zion Arms flash hider on there, so you don't have to have this ugly orange tip as soon as you get it. And these come with a different magazine than the Lancer Gen 3s. They come with this mag, which, if you look at it, it kind of resembles a PMag, and I think that's intentional. There's a lot of stuff on this rifle that resembles Magpul products, including the pistol grip, which I think is a big improvement over a standard A2. It also has a quick and easy to open access for the motor. I think that's another great innovation we've seen in the last couple of years in Airsoft. And it also has this kind of CTR MOE looking stock, which comes standard on a normal Lancer. For perspective, what comes standard on a Lancer on the externals is the stock, the pistol grip, the trigger, which I guess is an internal, the trigger extended magwell, that all comes standard on a Lancer. It also has a metal outer barrel, in case you were wondering, which I would not be surprised if that's just not standard for Lancer tactical guns. I think this does fall short in a couple of places. Airsoft GI markets this as a high-end custom gun, you know, the end-all be-all. You can buy this and dominate the field. And I think this, again, does a really great job, but I think there are a few places that this falls short in my opinion, and we'll talk about those in just a second. But I did want to give a quick shout out to all of our channel members who make the videos that I create possible. If it wasn't for their support, the BB Warriors simply wouldn't exist. By supporting the channel, you get some great perks like being able to watch videos early, you get guaranteed access to our Roast My Kit videos, exclusive content, even more special roles on our Discord server. So if you want to learn more about becoming a channel member, there is a link down in the description below, or if you're on desktop, you can hit the join button. But a big thank you to our channel members who have continued their support and made content like this possible. Without them, again, the BB Warriors simply would not exist in the way that it does today. Now, getting to the rifle, there's a few things I don't like, and I always try to include that in reviews, but I think for being a high-end gun, there's some features missing from this. They're small things. They're quality of life things, in my opinion. But I think if you're going to call yourself a high-quality, high-end custom gun, it needs to include it. And the first one, and I've just kind of grown accustomed to this over time, is when you pull back the charging handle for the hop-up, it needs to lock back. I think that is something that most brands have gotten down by now. You see it in Crytax, you see it in VFCs, you see it in pretty much every brand. I think this needs that. I think that is, again, it's small. Some people are going to call it a nitpick, but I'm so accustomed to having it on every other airsoft gun that I own that not having it on here was immediately something that I didn't like about it. So the idea, if you're not familiar, is kind of like a real AR-15. When you pull the charging handle back, it should lock open. That way you can mess with your hop-up without having to do the weird, like, three-handed, like, I pull it back and then I adjust it. I don't like that personally. I think that's something that can be improved. I understand that's part of the Lancer system, not necessarily Airsoft GI's choice, but I think that'd be a great addition for maybe like a Lancer Gen 3.5 or a Lancer 4, whatever they come out with in the future. The other thing, it is standard AR-15 style controls, which for most people, that's plenty fine. You've got your fire selector on the left-hand side of the rifle, you have your magazine release on the right-hand side. I wish it was an ambi-fire selector. That's just something that I really like. I get some people don't like it if they're doing clone builds, but this is not based on anything in reality besides a standard AR platform. So I wish that there was controls on this side. Again, that's just how they come from Lancer, but I think that'd be a nice little value added. I don't necessarily care if it has a ambidextrous magazine release or charging handle, charging handle, a bolt release. But if you're gonna have everything else be ambi, like the stock is ambi, it has QD cups on both sides, the handguard has sling cups on both sides, why not make the controls also ambi? To say the entire rifle is ambidextrous, I think that would go a long way. And then my final complaint is the buttstock itself. So again, it looks a lot like a Magpul style stock. Very easy to adjust, several points on the buffer tube for adjusting. This butt plate on here kind of sucks. And the reason why I say that is I had more than once where this just kind of fell off. It is a little detent on the top that you press for it to come out, and then that way you can drop your batteries in there. However, the detent isn't super large, like there's not a ton of locking space on there, and what you can do is just kind of tip it to the side and it comes off, like without even pressing it out. I had that happen twice on the field, and I ended up losing the butt pad, and thank God I noticed it when it happened. But the way that it happens is when I bring the rifle up, and I'll try to do this without hitting my microphone, is sometimes it would like rub against the strap of like a plate carrier or a chest rig, and that'd be enough friction to this kind of knock this right off. And then as you start moving, it just kind of flies and goes into oblivion. So I would say either put like a little piece of bungee on there to secure it, maybe a rubber band or something like that. Or just replace the stock. Get a real Magpul stock, go out to a Crane stock. The PTS stocks are really nice. Whatever you wanted to do. But overall, I think this does a phenomenal job for its price point. I get that my complaints about this are nitpicks for most people. I think this just provides value at a pretty affordable price. For $315 or so, I can't think of anything that beats this. I think a great comparison would be this to the Crytek Alpha, which this is a 14.5-inch barrel. The Crytek Alpha CRB is a 10.5-inch barrel, so it's a little shorter. But those are $320, $325, I believe. I think that'd be a really interesting comparison to see between this and that. I think this would beat it on trigger response because it's got a better MOSFET than the standard Crytek's. But the Crytek's also have some really good things going for them as well. But overall, I think if you pick this up, you are not going to be disappointed. If this is your first airsoft gun or your second airsoft gun, you're looking to upgrade from something from a beginner level, I think this is a great value. If you already own VFC Avalons, Crytek's, HPA, I don't think this is the right thing for you. I think it's a good starting point if you want to put other stuff in there, don't get me wrong, but I think this is great for new to middle of the road style of players. If you've been playing airsoft for a little bit, you want to upgrade from your first airsoft gun, I think this is just a great value. Again, I think this just does everything right that it needs to, and it fulfills the needs that most players are looking for. And if you want to pick up the MGC4, they are available exclusively at Airsoft GI. You can go on their website for free shipping over $179. If you have an account, they also have a rewards program over at Airsoft GI. So if you want to pick this up, I think it's a great value, and honestly, it's a very strong contender for the best beginner airsoft gun. As airsoft guns continue to get more and more expensive because of inflation, I think this just remains a really great value for that low $300 point. And I think for being, $75, $80 more than a standard Lancer Tactical Gen 3, this definitely has a ton of improvements to that blow that out of the water and make that little bit extra money just totally worth it, in my opinion. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to know, what do you think about this rifle? Do you think it's cool that shops are continuing to do custom builds like this, where they take an existing platform, put some upgrades into it, and make it a good value? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below. Again, a huge thank you to airsoftgi.com for sending this out for review and making today's video possible. But my name is Lane, and I will catch you all in the next video.